Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on AnubhavTrainings.com. Our today's topic is extending your OData services built in SAP. So why do we need to extend an OData service? Imagine you are using a Fiori application in your company and they want you to extend this application. But the problem is this application is a standard Fiori application. A standard Fiori application delivered by SAP also comes with a standard OData service. So in our goal today, we will see how can you identify the OData service pertaining to a standard SAP application, and then how do you discover the required implementation into the system and enrich our data structures, including the service structure with custom fields so that you can return and read the data of custom fields using standard OData services using standard gateway projects. It is predominantly required when you have a project which is already running, a Fiori application already used by business, and SAP provide a standard service which is used by that Fiori project. So now it's our goal to add custom fields to that OData service. To add custom fields to the OData service, it is extremely important that we first find where that OData service is and is it active. So step number one, we go to Fiori App Reference Library and check the list of standard apps and find the OData. So for this reason, I'll switch over back to Fiori App Reference Library. And now here I can go to, let's say, Travel and Expense Fiori app and search for this application. I could see under the implementation info, configuration, system tells me about the OData service name. I will copy this OData service name. I will go to our transaction code, main service transaction code. And here I will search for this OData service in the filter to first see if it is truly active or not. And I realize, yes, it is active. Just to tell you, if in case it is not active, then you will see something like this. The ICF node will be deactivated. Let me delete the activation. So you all will be able to see this. I can just delete and show you reactivation of the reactivation process. The reactivation process is absolutely same like a custom OData service, which we learned in this training. So if I click on add service and I type here the local, as we are using embedded system, and if I search, you will see I will find the OData service for travel and expense Fiori app. I select and click on add selected service. And now I will choose here local object. Maybe I will put our Capgemini package, so Z Cap Anubhav, and I click on OK. I'll put it in a transport request, so all the service registration will also be transported to the quality system. So now you can see service is active. The next step comes is filter the service and search the service in the service. You can see it's found and the alias is also added. So now I click on call browser to test my service in the browser right away. And there I log in and you can see my service is there. So if you go to any part of the Fiori application, you will find these different endpoints. These are all entity sets. So you have expense type entity set. You have a lot of entity sets here in your service. Now, this is our step number 2. After we detect and find our OData service, we got the service and we found it's active or not. The third step is also important. We want to find out what is the corresponding gateway project for this service. Now to find that out, we have to go back to the SAP system. We have to select the service and then we have to kind of find out what is the correct service information or the service project. So click on service details and you can see the service details over here. Let me go to service implementation detail display. And now you can see the service implementation detail. And you can find the technical model name, the class which is providing the model provider class, yes, the package in which the service is stored, yes, what's a package. So all the details you can find it over here on this service details. You can also now take the service model name and just remove underscore model from here and try this whole thing inside your SEGW to add this project. So let me go to SEGW and show you the original SAP delivered service. So I will go and open and I will type it here and I click on execute. So you can see the services added to my gateway builder. Yeah. So this is delivered by SAP. I can't change it directly. Yeah. I am not allowed to change this service directly. This is not permitted because it's delivered by SAP. It is a standard SAP artifact. It's given by SAP. So you can also check object dictionary entry. You will find that it is owned by SAP. Yeah. In 2017 is when they created it for the first time. So this is a standard service and delivered by SAP, and my business want me to add a custom field. So I can't change this. This is my problem statement. So we need to create a service extension project to add our custom field. But let's come and look at how typically a solution in SAP side is designed. Whenever we talk about solution or whenever we ourselves design a OData or a solution, what are all the components does it include typically? So if you realize that, then what you will always start at the bottom is data dictionary, your database artifact, DDIX. So here, let's say you will have a structure and this structure have fields like X, Y, and Z. Yes. Then what on next step you do, you will write function module. We call it as API layer. So here you develop function module or class to read data and perform CURD queue operation with the select queries on this database structure. Then on the next layer, you will build a service. This is our service layer. And in the service, we define entities, entity set, and entity types. Where we also saw in our OData training, how can we import the structure directly and create here entity properties. So X, Y, and Z will also come here. And we expose finally all this, and this is then consumed by a Fiori user interface or other consumers, like for API consumption we can use. So this is our architecture in a very simple manner. Now you see, if I wanted to, let's imagine this is a standard SAP structure. If I want to add a custom field, then it should be added from top to bottom. It is not like you just add a custom field here in the entity set and it's done. But where will the data come from then? Yes. And where will the structure come from then? So that is why we have to add it from bottom to top. Yes, in the same way. So first we have to go and extend this structure where the field is stored, the database table, and let me call it as C means custom. Yeah. So this is my step number one. I have to find out the structure where the data is coming from and add that field over there. Then second step is add function module class logic. So we need to add custom logic to basically revert the value back for this custom field. And this is typically done in a body implementation. In SAP, we have concept of bodies. The transaction code is SE18 and SE19. So we need to find out what's the right body for this extension. Yes, for this, we will also rely on the documentation provided by SAP on SAP Fiori App Reference Library. Then the third step is then we will add our custom field over here in the entity set, but you can't touch the standard project. So here comes is this extension of OData project. So SAP has provided a SEGW project to us, which is standard project. What we do is we will not copy this. We will not at all copy this. If you copy and create, the next time in the next release, if SAP add new features to this project, you will lose them. You have to again copy in the next release. So we'll never do a copy of existing SAP project to Z project. Never do that. Rather, we should inherit. We should say that, okay, SAP has given me a gateway project. I am going to inherit this project. I'm going to take inheritance. Inheritance means whatever is there in the parent class will come naturally to the child class. plus child class can add extra delta. So this is called a extension project, extension OData project. That is what we will be typically doing. Make sense? So now let's understand how can we build an extension project end to end. And finally, when you test in the Postman tool or any tool, eventually you will be able to see the custom field and use it. So this is our entire end-to-end development flow. I hope everybody is clear the architecture and the flow. This is how we learn building OData services in our training, in our complete training. And now we are just going to do an extension on the same fashion. So let us first go ahead and see what is the structure and what is the entity set of this current sample scenario where I wanted to extend it with the extra field. So first of all, let's see the entity data model. I double click on entity types, and you will find for all the entity types we do have here the ABAP structure detail already available for us. Wow. These are all standard OData structure information which are already available to us, correct? So we will be utilizing all of this now in the system. So I will go ahead and utilize one of the entity type and entity set for basically featuring or extending my current property. So first we identified the OData. We will now, the next step is we are identifying the DD structure which is relevant for the processing. So what I will now do is I will just go and write down the next instruction. Identify the DD structure which needs to be extended for this OData service. So my goal here is to extend the expense data actually. That's my goal. So let's note down the next step. We go to the gateway project. We add the standard project to our SEGW. Then check the entity types. And suppose the goal is in this case extension of expense structure. Okay. So our goal is find the structure relevant for entity. Yes, relevant for the entity and open the structure. So in this example which I'm taking expense of the, which is a very important entity for our travel and expense scenario. So if I go back, you will find here something called expense. Expense, here it is, expense here. Yeah, this is the structure now we found out. Let's double click. This is the structure I can copy, and now I will open this in SE11. So let's go there. It's a structure, so we have to put it here. Yes. So now we are inside the structure over here. Yes, perfect. So now I wanted to add a custom field to this structure. So can anyone tell me what is the concept in SAP which is utilized to add a custom fields to a append structure? Very good answer. You all are ABAPers, so you know it much better. So we will use the append structure concept to add our custom fields to this structure. So sometimes what you also find is a CI include. CI means custom include, where yes, customize include, which you can use to also add a structure directly with C mode transaction. So sometime you will already find them, but sometime you don't find them. So we will directly do a append structure. So here we have a button in S4HANA append structure. So let's add a new append structure, and we will just usually make a Z and the same structure name underscore ext. This is a naming convention we follow. This naming convention is very, very important. So we follow that. We click on OK. And now we will add here the structure for extension fields. So my business want to add some new fields, let's say a doc number. So Z doc number. And I wanted to add another field. Let's say this is P underscore doc data type. Then I wanted to add another field, a number of employees, so Z number of EMP. And let me put the data type. So I will put a standard data type available in SAP for number of staff, CHNO staff. You can also create new data element, custom data element, and add them. So usually the best practice is all the Z field also start with Z. This is a best practice which we follow so that we know that these are custom added fields. Yeah. So my goal in my trainings are not just to teach you how to do stuff, but also to do right stuff. Yes. You have to also do it in the right way so that later on you don't have to suffer in the reviews to redo all the work. Sometime when architect or senior developers review your code, they should not give you bad comments of quality. The quality is also very, very important than quantity. Okay, I will save this. And of course, we will store in our package zcap Anubhav. And this will also transport to the quality system. So I will lock it in a transport request and we will activate our structure. Yes. So in order to also allow future extension, we also usually make a setting called enhancement category setting, usually, right? So we do that and we say it can be enhanced with a care like. So these are the typical settings which you usually use when it comes to working with structure. So if it fails, activation fails, you can change the enhancement category depending on the need what you have. And you can also add currency quantity fields, and I mean everything which is typically done on a custom structure you can do it. And now when you go back, you will see in the main structure there will be these Z fields which will now be available. So you can see we have got two Z fields added here. Yes, this is certainly now available over there. Nice. So now these fields are done at the bottommost layer. So if I go back to my diagram, you will observe that we have added here the DDIC extension with a custom field added to the data dictionary structure. So I will not propose here a hands-on, because if we all try to change the same DDIC structure with our append include, eventually what will happen, we all will end up, uh, leaving the structure in an inconsistent state. So for now, just understand this part only I will do, and rest all the hands-on part you guys will do. So here we have done this. The next part here is to create a body implementation. But before that, let me right away create the skip this part because this is a little tricky part. Before that, we will extend now our service itself. So we will directly right now skipping the logic part. I'm jumping to this entity set. So what was the next step which we did? So check the entity type, find the DDIC structure, append a new structure, append a new structure to the DDIC for custom fields. So Z fields to be added. So Gaurav was absolutely right. Because of mapping reason, since the standard standard OData service will not do the mapping part, we have to do ourselves because standard doesn't know the Z fields. So let's go to the next part, which is gateway project extension. So we can keep this standard project without touching it. And now we will create a gateway project. Usually what I follow is I just put a Z before the name of actual project which SAP has. So this way I know that, okay, this is a counterpart, Z counterpart of the standard SAP project, proc TRV. That is a easy approach or easy way, to remember. This is a standard again, which we follow. Of course, in your company, you may follow a different standard, but in my opinion, this gives very, very helpful information because now I know, okay, this is a Z of this standard guy. Yeah. So this is the project name. PAOC. Yes, you're right. It's PAOC. Yeah. Okay. So this is a custom service for the travel and expense. And I click on the package name. So let's put our Capgemini package. Click OK. We got it created. And now next step is we have got here the content, but right now it doesn't have anything. And look at the standard service. It has humongous number of entities. I mean, if I have to replicate this manually, believe me, it is not something which I could do. Yes, or it will be a huge effort. So what SAP gives is a great option to define extension. Remember, I told that we should not rewrite everything. Rather, we should reuse. So in the past, when you used to extend a program, sometimes we used to copy. Yeah. That copy decouples you from standard permanently. And in next subsequent patch release, if new feature comes to that program, you're decoupled. You have to again copy, again redo everything. So we don't like that approach. So we want something where I say, okay, I want to reuse standard as much as it is there. And on top, I will add my custom. So that way in next release, when SAP give new features to you, you will still connect to the old new features, and then you will continue to use the extension. So we will right click on data model, redefine, and we have to choose SAP GW OData service, not OData service. This one we have to choose. Click on that. And now we will give the technical service name, which we are only willing to extend. So PAOC underscore TRV. You can star and F4. So we are saying redefine this standard service. So double click. I always propose to choose F4. Yes. Click on next. And now you will see, wow, look at that. All the entity sets from the standard service are fetched. I want to reuse everything and finish. Please inherit everything from the base class. So something like that. So we click on finish now, and you can see it has replicated entire stuff for us. And this is now a copy and modification on top. So we can now add any delta. This becomes a Z service. We can add any delta which we like. So what I will do is I will go to the expense. And if you see the properties of expense, from the standard OData side, you will not probably get these properties out of the box. Yeah, these are the properties which standard gives you. But I don't want that. I want my custom properties. So I can right click, import properties. And now I can import my properties, which are I've added in the structure. You will find them at the bottom. Yes, Z doc number, Z number of employees. Click on next, and this should get added to our list. Super cool now. So that's how we are able to add now the standard service right easily on our system. So what did we do? We went to the system and we right click on data model. We redefine, and then we choose GW OData. This is the option we choose. We now go to the entity type and just right click and choose properties and select, get them added. And now you will see the Z properties got added to the system. So they got maybe up and down. Okay. Now one more thing you can see, it is telling a issue. ABAP field name Z doc number is not part of ABAP DD structure. Why it is telling like that? Ideally it should work. Let me just save this. Yeah, ideally it should work. It should find automatically this structure for me. Let me just check. Those fields are part of our structure, certainly. That's why we are able to see them. But system is saying it can't find. Let me just check. Yeah, we have got them here, and they're part of the structure. Okay, let's go and try and check DD structure. It's active here. The substructure is also active. Maybe this is a temporary issue. Let us try to just generate now runtime artifacts. Yeah. So it is just do a check. Okay, it's telling SPAOC TRV expense. SPAOC TRV expense. It's telling some other structure SPAOC TRV expense. This is also active only. Maybe it's a temporary issue. I think we can proceed now. So let me click on generate button to generate runtime artifacts of our custom class now. Okay, maybe it's a refresh issue. Let me go out of the transaction and come back to transaction code. Maybe just a refresh issue. Yeah. So let's come back again and we go back to the DD structure. We go for change mode because now it's a custom one. We can change this easily without any problem. We can go to expense, properties, and let's do an F4. And let's see if we can find the fields. Yes, now you can see the fields have come. Yeah. So it's just a minor DD refresh issue, nothing else. So let's do the check now. We can also just enable creatable, updatable, deletable, filterable for all these properties. Yeah. So you see the issue is gone. So it was just a refresh issue, guys. Nothing to worry. Sometimes a standard SAP object, they behave like this. And I will check everything on here. And let me now generate the runtime artifacts. So what these artifacts will do, they will inherit from standard SAP artifacts. Yeah. So these are all our classes which it is generating, and these classes will inherit from standard runtime artifacts, standard OData service artifact, and a test service will also create. So now I'll go back to steps. So we right click, select properties, add them, just refresh SEGW in case you find issue like we saw, and it worked after in the next instance. Click on generate. It will generate the runtime artifacts. So we are generating our DPC extension, MPC extension, and the OData service, the new OData service got generated. So let's click OK and put it in a package and transport. And next step is to register our custom OData service. So this custom OData service, eventually we can see the new set of fields, the Z fields basically. So now if I go back and register this service, so let's register our OData service. So if we go back to main service transaction, add service, local zproc trv srv. So this is the registration part which we all have done. Let's select add and we can just click OK. Yes. So now I've just changed the service. So when you guys are practicing the same, you also have to do the same. Please keep the name so that our names will not conflict with each other. Yeah. So now you can see the service is ready. Let's call the browser. That's okay. Service name could be anything. It doesn't need to match the same project name exactly. Doesn't need to. That's why modularization. Na? That's why SAP does modularization. So we can choose the name we like. So now we are searching for the expense entity type. And why am I searching expense? I can directly search Z employee number or Z, my Z field. So it should have my Z field now in the expense entity. Yes, we can just also refresh the cache. So our newly added field was ZNOEMP. And there you go, voila. I've got my custom fields added to the OData service for now. Make sense? So we got the things added to my service now. But will this give me the data of these new fields? Anyone? Will you get the data for these fields? Yes or no? No, you will not get. Why? Because we completely missed out. Yes, we completely missed out the middleware part, the API part, the part which connects your database table and your OData service. That part we missed out. So suppose these two fields are not stored in your standard table. They are stored in a custom table. You can also fetch data from there. Yeah. Suppose they are stored in a custom table over here. Yes. So the actual number of employees and the other field XYZ whatever, they're stored here. So now we will add a body implementation where we will write the logic to return the data of these fields. Here we will write the logic. So there are two things. One, you can write in body, or you can write also in the DPC extension class which was created. So after maintaining some customizing, you can see at least a blank result is coming. Yes. Now what I will do is I will show you implementing a body. So what has happened by far is we have created our flow. We have got our APIs now, and now it's our requirement that we go back and implement here a logic in the system, in the middleware logic. So we have got the DDK extension, we got the service extension, we got the custom field in the metadata, but now I want some body to be implemented which returns the data of by appending these extra values of our choice. Now to do this body implementation, we have to again go back to the documentation of the Fiori application. And here in the documentation, what you will observe here is we have extensibility section. In the extensibility section, we see here what is the extension point for this particular or so-called body for this particular requirement for this particular application. And utilizing this body, I will be able to implement the body. You can also go and check the extensibility documentation of this Fiori app. Yeah. So here when you go, it will take you to the SAP help documentation for this, and it will show you all the available functions and methods in the body, both the UI and the backend. So you see the body. Yes. So here we have the body name, which we can use and implement in the system so that we can return the desired data of our custom fields. So first we will go and check this in SE18 transaction code. Let's go to SE18 and I will paste it here. And I will first display you the body, which is already present in the system given by SAP. You see this is the body. This is the body interface. This is where we can write our custom logic of our choice. And now what I will do is I will just implement the body. So to implement the body, we go to SE19 decode. So next step was we went to the system. So next step will be API implementation. So for that, we go to Fiori app reference library again. Before that, we checked the metadata for custom fields. And you saw in the metadata custom fields got available. Unfortunately, due to customizing missing in our system for travel and expense, we were not able to see the data as such, but at least now we can proceed and return maybe a hard code data. Yeah, for an example. So go to Fiori preference library again. In the extensibility section, you will find the body. Almost for every application which we have, these bodies are there since many years. So bringing Fiori and OData doesn't mean we eradicate all the classical ERP functionality. So these classical ERP bodies are always present in the system in your company, and they are there still as it is the way they were before, with minor enhancements being done. So this is a classical ABAP concept, not a new concept with OData, and they are already there and we can use them for extension purpose. Yeah. So we can go to SE18 and check the body, SE18 transaction code. And then we go to SE19 for implementing the body. Body stands for business add-ins. So let's go back to SE 19 transaction code. Yes, and now you can see it is asking me to create a enhancement implementation. So let me start with Z and the actual name. Yeah, and let's give a short text, my extension of functionality for data purpose, and I click on OK. We put it inside our package, lock it in a trans. So everything is grouped inside our package properly. So here we will provide the implementation name and implementing class. So that is what we will provide next. So now here we have already uh, can provide a new name for our body implementation. So let me just give the name underscore IMP. So this is the good naming convention which we typically follow. IMP means implementation. And then I will give the implementing class. So implementing class name, you can also go back to the body and just give the similar class name what is being given there. So let me go back to SC18 and show you the body. And give you the name of the class. So you see this is the interface name. So usually you can take this and just come back and put ZCL class underscore the name. So this is how we can typically give. We select our body implementation name and we click on OK. I say create a empty implementation or copy from sample class or inherit from sample class. There are three options to choose in which SAP provide you a sample implementation, sample class, and you can choose any of the sample class of your choice. So maybe I can create an empty implementation and copy from sample class. So let me just choose that, create empty implementation, or I will choose copy from sample class. Click save, click OK, put it in a transport request. So in this case, it will copy the implementation from sample class. So I will know in what format does we propagating or sending the data to the front end. So you can see now a implementing class has been created and the body implementation is ready. Maybe we have to also activate the body implementation. So let me activate this. And you see it has also created all the class methods by making a copy. I think we have to activate all of that first to begin with. So let me select everything and just deselect these things which are kind of not relevant for the current scenario. Rest all I will select and activate. So the first thing which you do is don't change your class, activate your class so that at least you know that your copied implementation works smooth. And then you start changing, because if you activate after you make changes, you will not know whether the generated code has issue or your code causes side effect. So we have activated that now. Let me also activate the body. So now my body is active. So it will hit my breakpoints in my custom implementing class now. So this was our next step. So let's go back, implement the body, create a new implementing class. Yes, activate. So now we've activated all the objects. So what will be our next step? Our next step is, of course, to go to this implementing class and write our logic to return data for our custom fields eventually. So this will be our final and last step, which we will be following. So let's jump to the implementing class right away. So I will go back and we will find here implementing class. And you can see this is the class name. I can go inside, double click, and now we have all the methods for the class. So for all the entity sets, we have got the methods related to our. So now I will be using expense set get entity set method, which is what will be responsible for sending data for expense set. We are using expense, right? So let's search that expense set get entity set. So you see update entity expense set get entity set. This is the function. So you could have written this code in the DPC extension class also, or you could have written this code in this, or we can write this code here in this interface class, the body class also. But eventually you can imagine that now we have got a placeholder to inject our custom code in the system. And this custom code will be taking more precedence than the standard code. So this is the process in which we can implement end-to-end implementation of a custom OData service. Yes. So now let me just complete the steps, activate all the objects now, and go to the custom class and add the logic to return data of custom fields. So from here onwards, the process is very simple. You just have to append the data, read the data, call function module, call custom table, select queries, and fetch the data and append that into the changing expenses data. So that is what we can easily do it. And eventually the data will be popped up on the screen. So this is the process of end-to-end extension. How do we start finding the right object for extension? How do we find the correct data sets, extend the OData service end-to-end in my system for a simple scenario? Unfortunately, due to missing customizing in this training system, we will not be able to see the data, but at least able to visualize and do the whole process in the system.